Hey, what's up, everybody? So today I wanted to talk about some news that is coming out of Akron, Ohio, and the county that Akron, Ohio is located in, Summit County. And the reason that I wanted to talk about Akron, Ohio is because I'm from Akron. I grew up there. I graduated from North High School in 2011, and I'm in my last year of college at the University of Akron for engineering. And the city of Akron, I care very dearly about it, and unfortunately, there is a huge heroin problem that is facing our city. And there have been hundreds upon hundreds of overdoses, and there's been dozens upon dozens of heroin deaths or overdose deaths. And there's a new drug that is even more potent than fentanyl, which is basically what the heroin is being laced with. It's called Carfentanil, which is basically fentanyl to sedate elephants, and it's way more potent. And just check this statistic right here. Between July 5th and July 26th, there was 236 overdoses, and there's basically been around 10 overdoses every single day, in the past couple of months, and it's getting really bad out here. It's affecting the lives of a lot of people, and here's my thoughts and opinions on it. First and foremost, I think that the war on drugs is an absolute failure. I think that we have wasted over $1 trillion wanting to arrest our way out of a problem. And the thing is, drug dealing and drug consumption is usually because of a lot of times it can be due to poverty, poor education systems, but the thing that's different with this heroin epidemic is that it's actually starting to, or is actually has been, affecting the lives of people that live in the suburbs. It's not just in the inner cities no more. It's, every community has had, tragedies where they lost a lot of people. The only difference is now is that it's, a demographic that would probably have more power in this country or whatever. But I think that the solution for the drug problem in our country is just to legalize everything. And I know that might sound crazy, and I'm talking about the deaths and the overdoses and things like that. Well, the problem is that anytime that you have something that is illegal and people are consuming it, you don't have regulations on that product. And just like with alcohol, back in the day, people would put ether or dangerous chemicals in the alcohol and then sell it to people because there was no regulations and people would die. Well, nowadays, unless there's like arsenic in extremely cheap wine, there's usually no negative effect immediately from consuming alcohol. I mean, obviously alcohol can damage your liver. It makes you can become a alcoholic if you consume too much. It can cause issues like that. But in terms of the product being safe for consumption, there's not like poison in it or nothing like that. But with a lot of these drugs, I think that if they were regulated, by the FDA or some other governmental organization where they can have quality control on the drugs, and then also if it's legalized, a lot of the people that are in prison, the nonviolent drug offenders, which is around half of our prison population, they could either be released, have reduced sentences. You cut down on the need to police for that, and you can focus on violent crimes such as rape, murder, armed robberies, etc., and focus resources on that instead of wasting money on a problem that's not going to go away by arresting your way out of it. And another thing that I wanted to talk about was that a lot of people have to view this as a public health crisis. It's not just it's just not like people view this as it's like criminals who are the reason that this is happening, or it's like these people are criminals, blah. And it's like the people that are doing the heroin are addicted to it. It affects their brain chemistry. It makes them do things that they probably otherwise wouldn't do if they weren't addicted to it. And you have to look at it as if look, this person has some sort of disease or something, which is an addiction. And I think that our society has they have, we've gone over the stigmatization of people being alcoholics and getting treatment for it because you have AA. And, people that go to AA aren't stigmatized for wanting to get treatment for their disease. But people who are addicts are still stigmatized in our society for the most part as being people who are just the others. And it's just like, and then the last thing I want to talk about is like, I feel like when you constantly do something over and over and over again, and you have the same bad results. It's just silly. It's crazy. It's like why like keep this war on drugs going on when we know things like marijuana are less harmful than alcohol. And we know that, look, the reason that these people are dying is not so much due to the heroin, it's because of what's going into the the heroin that they're buying, such as fentanyl, acetone, whatever. And a lot of people who were for the war on drugs like 40, 50 years ago, because they saw it as being people that lived in the inner city or black or Hispanic people who were doing the drugs. So you have to be tough on everybody, put all the addicts in prison. And now that it's affecting their children and their grandchildren, it's like, oh wow, now we need to treat this as a public health crisis. And these draconian laws have to go away. But to me, I feel like it's even when it was back in the day or whatever, we should have treated it like a public health crisis and not stigmatize people who are drug addicts. And then also with the people who are dealing the drugs, I know a lot of drug dealers because I went to school in the inner city, and a lot of people who are selling drugs are doing it because there's really no opportunity within those neighborhoods. And a lot of people will say, well, if you work hard enough, eventually you can overcome your circumstances. Well, a lot of people grow up in households where their families are either drug dealers, addicts, their father's in prison, their father's not there, there's no adult supervision, and they don't have anything, and they just grew up in an environment where selling drugs is the only way to have clothes on your back or have food on the table. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the situation at hand. And I think with a lot of social safety or social programs such as after school programs, increasing funding for programs that help give people skills, things in that manner, it can really have a beneficial impact within these communities. So that's all I really got to say about this this topic. I just wanted to bring awareness to it. If you guys like this content, if you guys disagree with me, please tell me why. Comment below. I'm always I'm always open to hearing other people's opinions. So never feel that you can't say something that I disagree with, because I'm always I'm always open to hearing what other people have to say. So that's all I gotta say, and peace out, y'all.